Obviously excited that we got the win. That's really about the most positive or only positive that I would tell you at this point is that we've been in this position before and not gotten the job done. Tonight we did. Found a way to go down and get the score and then to get the stop. But beyond that, I don't know, frustrated as I think I've been as a head coach, maybe as embarrassed as I've been as a head coach in terms of how undisciplined that we played. And I told the guys in the locker room that, I'm excited to be bowl eligible and found a way to get a win, and that we're going to be able to teach after a victory a lot of lessons that have to be taught. But beyond that, not pleased in pretty much any area, to be honest with you. So we got a lot of work to do, and we got to get back to work tomorrow and figure out how to get better at what we're doing.
Obviously, like I said, you pulled out the win. This might be kind of a wake-up call for the end of the season for you guys.
I think every day's a wake-up call. This group, you got freshmen out there that are learning one snap at a time, making freshman mistakes. As you just heard BJ, the light at the end of the night, they realize we're getting really close to some of these guys being done with their career. There's been a lot of lessons along the way. So, we made mistakes tonight that you make week 1 and week 2. You don't make week 9, 10 of the season. That's the frustrating part. So all that's a wake-up call, in my opinion.
Coach, it seemed like offensively the biggest thing, it just seemed like you just got the wrong way. You get an explosive play, the penalty, you get turnovers. Just your thoughts on that on the offensive side?
Without watching tape, the holding calls frustrate you. We had more holding calls tonight we've had in the entire season, all in one game. And I asked for explanations, and I'm not sure that I agreed with exactly what I was getting told, but that's how the game's being played, and that's how it's getting called. We addressed it. We got less down the stretch. I think the guys listened to what we told them and really moved their feet better and finished. We had some. Ball security was awful, whether it be bad decisions in terms of where we threw it or just protecting the ball in general. Those are not things that we can afford to do. We overcame it, really just by the skin of our teeth. But we just tried to give it away. To be honest with you, we're playing sloppy, undisciplined football.
How impressed you just about the defense play, keeping on the game the entire time?
Really well at times, absolutely. Physical at times up front. It's the stops on short yardage and to create the turnovers. But we lined up off sides. We jumped off sides a handful of times to give them first downs. We had personal fouls. Nobody's free tonight. We didn't play very well. We're lucky to get a win.
What was your message to the offense when they went out for that game-winning drive?
I just told them, guys, we've been here before. It's what we do every day. This is nothing new. We've got timeouts. We got time on the clock. Most of our drives are under 2 minutes anyway when we score, when we're doing what we're supposed to do without making mistakes. And that's one of the things I love about our system is that that's not a panic situation, just play ball. So we're willing to run the ball there at the end too. Make them play the entire field, make them defend everybody, and don't panic. So that's the one thing I thought we did a good job of tonight offensively is in that situation we just played, calm, technical, sound football for one drive. Just happened to be the one that needed to win the game.
Coach, as sloppy as this was, obviously the win is a win and you'll take it, but to see everything that seemingly went wrong during this game, but yet your team did have the resiliency to come back and get the win when it counted. Do you take any solace in that?
Oh, you got to, yeah. Because we've been here before and come up with a loss and talked about all the things that we self-inflicted. You think about some of the games we've lost over the last few years. There's been games just like this where we came away and we don't at least get the W. So that in itself is a huge victory. And I know it's hard to beat anybody in November. They've seen you all year long. Your bodies and your team is beat up, and it's tough to go in. That's not the issue. It's the things that we did wrong, the things that the self-inflicted mistakes. But I'd much rather have this conversation with a 28-27 win than the opposite. So we're fortunate there, and they did go make the play, both on offense and on defense, to get that done. So you at least got to be, you got to be pleased with that. But that's about as far as it goes for me tonight.
There are things you can take away from this game that you can use next week playing against like a similar style of offense?
It's not as similar as you might think, man. There's obviously some option-based, techniques that you're going to need, but there's just a big difference between what you see at Georgia Southern and what these guys do, and they're both unique in their own right. and they're good at what they do. They frustrate the mess out of you. I think Jamie does a really good job with their offense. Gets a lot out of maybe less at times, because I don't know that if you look across the board, just in terms of personnel, that how many of those guys you would plug out and say, this is a guy that we feel like we can't match up to. It's how you use the system and the scheme, and I think Bob DeBest does the exact same thing at Georgia Southern, but it does look different, and it will take a different thought process to defend, and we better play better than we did tonight, or we'll be having a different conversation a week from now. Not really. I think on the road, feeling like just personnel-wise, they're outmanned a little bit. It doesn't surprise me as much as you might think, and just analytics would tell you in some of those areas on 4th and 1 especially to go. And I kind of get that they did. And if you think about some of those 4th and 1s, they were able to go down and score. Instead of punting the ball back to us, they go down and score, especially the one right before the half, knowing we get the ball back in the third quarter.
Just thoughts on Blake Groupie. He had the one that you needed, and I was struggled last year, but he's been pretty consistent.
Oh, he's been great. He's been one of the most consistent guys on our football team. And I had an opportunity to put him out there again and make it an 11-point game, and we chose to go for it on 4th and 1. One of the most disappointing plays of the night that we can't. I want to win the game right there. I felt like their offense was good enough to score and wanted to win. I wanted to put us up 15, and we can't get a yard. And told him I have no doubt you can make the kick. Had nothing to do with him, just trying to win the game, playing to win instead of playing not to lose. But he's been solid. He's changed his technique. He's changed his ball flight. He has become a guy that we can count on as opposed to a guy that we're frustrated to put out there. So, that's when you challenge a guy and you get that response, that's about all you can ask.
Jerry's had an interception in the third quarter. How do you feel like he's just developed his freshman season?
A lot to ask of a true freshman to play the snaps he's having to play with what we do defensively. I thought he grew up a good bit in the Monroe game. He gave up one tonight, but also came back and bounced back, and that to me is something a corner's got to be able to do. You play out there in space on your own as much as we ask him to do, you're gonna give up some plays, but it's the next play. And that's the thing about him is he has confidence and he's got a good football IQ. He understands how the game's going to go. So he made a play, big play when we had to have one.
Obviously, you have Lane throws the interception, Kurt has the fumble, and they connect for the game winner on the way they got
Same thing. It's very similar. You got to have a short memory sometimes. You can't let one play affect the next one. Both of those guys want those plays back, and it matters enough to them that they, we patted both of them on the tail. So man, go back, make the next one. Get your head up, and they made huge plays when we had to have them there down the stretch.
I know y'all were behind the chains a lot, and both those backs, kind of got taken a little bit. What do you attribute to this running game? Was it something they were looking?
The personnel doesn't help. You lose Dre, and then both Marcel and Jamal are hurt. But to me, it was more the movement. We didn't handle their movement very well. I thought they did a good job with their front of just of really making things difficult for us. We've got to do a better job up front, honestly, covering people up, and not sure that we did a great job of that tonight. Without watching tape, it'd be hard to tell you exactly, but just listen to the headsets in the aftermath of some of the plays that we were frustrated with. We missed some blocks that we got to make, and so I know Coach Sean will be on those dudes about trying to improve there this week.
Anything else?
Thanks, folks.
Thanks.
Thanks.